conceptual narrative of the show was something that I kind of pivoted to work on mid-m.f.a. journey for me. So I started talking about pigeons. The first pigeon work that I made was Cunty Pigeon, which is also in this show. And it's also what I used to kind of wrap up my report for my m.f.a. and my lecture. So I knew I wanted to keep that in here. But for my show, I specifically chose to focus on clay pigeons because of the juxtaposition between the actual pigeon, or what I view as an actual pigeon, and the clay pigeon, which is a stand-in for something that I'm already using as a stand-in, because I'm talking about this kind of political interplay between them. And that was really important for me. The same thing goes for the bird spikes, and the use of ready-made materials in the show, like the shooting stands. It was very important for me to have things that I particularly didn't make, but brought in from its real-world context to then reinterpret within the show within my conceptual ideology. I use the pigeon because it is this somewhat overlooked figure, especially within my everyday life. I usually refer to what I talk about with pigeons as pigeonhood, which is the way that I experience being trans as an identifier. I'm specifically talking about myself in this instance, which is why I use the motif of pigeons within my work, because it's very important for me to know where I stand and take into consideration that I should not be speaking for or above other specifically trans people within my community. So pigeons are the result of me trying to only speak about my experiences. It also leads to other different conceptual ideations, because pigeons are something that we all know. They're kind of everywhere, but they're really neglected and looked over and sort of really invisible, but they're our neighbors, and I think we need to be paying attention to them more. The first time that I noticed a pigeon was on the public art collection on TTU campus. It's called Texas Rising, and they're at West Village, and there are these like giant like metal stars that shine, and there are two specifically that hang up in the air while all the other ones are implanted into the ground. And the pigeons love using the ones that are hung up by those dorms as nesting, and they love perching on them when it's not really windy here in West Texas, and they swing everywhere. And that's the first time that I really noticed a pigeon. I talk about it as like my pigeon genesis. There's a few works in the show that directly reference that. The little star in my logo for the show is a direct reference to that. And I also speak on the pigeon genesis within one of my zines called Transgender for the Modern Day Pigeon, Volume 1. I use clay pigeons specifically in this m.f.a. show, Pigeon Ponderings, because of what is happening right now in the United States, in Texas, and in Lubbock. There are a lot of anti-trans bills. There was one that was just passed in Texas saying that trans people have to use the biologically assigned bathroom that takes place in September 1st. And I want to denote that it's really never been about bathrooms. It's been about trans people's existence within public spaces, which is what is being fought about right now. It just so happens to be bathrooms that is being talked about.